What was the best accidental bareness you've seen in person? I delivered pizzas throughout college, and one morning I was very, very hungover. It was summer in Oklahoma, which meant 100 plus degrees, and the ovens in the store made it at least 10 degrees hotter in the morning. My first delivery of the day goes to an apartment complex, which is fine, but means walking upstairs in the heat. I knock on the door and hear laughter. In my overheated, hungover state, I figured it was just some kids being obnoxious. So I got angry, annoyed, because I just wanted to go home and lay in my bed. Then the door opened. It was a super cute girl, smiling, wrapped in a bedsheet. I didn't want to stare, although I'm sure I was smiling huge. So I looked to the side and told her the total. She handed me the cash for her sandwiches. Yes, we also delivered subs. I tried to pass her the bag with the food, again, without looking. I fumbled the exchange, and her bag of sandwiches started to fall. Damn, if this cute girl didn't have the reflexes of a cat. She dropped the hand holding the top of the bedsheet and caught the bag before it hit the ground. This of course meant that the sheet fell from her top half, exposing breasts. Best part? She laughed about it, smiled and blushed, and tipped me a $5. What I was certain would be a terrible day of running pizza turned out to be one of the best. Thank you, super cute girl. Story 2. When I was 5, I was sneaking around the house with my Power Rangers weapons. So I'm sneaking down the hallway, about to straight murder some bad guys, when suddenly I notice the shower is on. Steam is escaping from the slightly cracked bathroom door, and apparently this triggers my super stealth ability to walk completely undetected. I snuck up on the door with honest intentions. And what do you know? Completely nude is Amy, my 16-year-old sister's hot friend. Boobies, her behind, and this weird patch of hair. In this glorious moment of seeing somebody nude, I was amazed. Apparently being amazed also makes me lose my super stealth, because Amy then realizes she's been checking herself out in the mirror with me watching. I figured I'd be in big trouble, but she just smiled and got in the shower. And that was the moment I realized I'm not gay. Story 3. When I was in high school, I smashed my head on a ceiling overhang. My head started spraying blood everywhere, at which point the girl with the biggest, most perfect breasts in school rushed over and pulled off her little white tank top to put pressure on the wound. I don't know if she realized or not, but her bra was pretty much completely see-through. I would like to think that maybe she saved me from bleeding to death that day by completely redirecting blood flow from the open wound on my head. Story 4. I went on a cruise once with my family and a big group of our friends. There was a super hot older daughter in one of the groups that every boy, including myself, had a crush on. She was kind of like a hot nanny you always fantasize about. On the back of the cruise ship we took, there was this generated wave you could surf and boogie board on. It was called the Flow Rider. That's where my group of friends would stay for long parts of the day while the ship was sailing. On our last night of the cruise, the group of families I was with decided to rent out the Flow Rider for a personal session. Now this wave is no D&T. It's as if two huge speedboat props were set to 11, shooting water up a slope, creating a wave-like effect. This meant if you crashed while riding it, you would be hurtled towards the top of the wave in a heap with water shooting everywhere. There were signs all around it saying, "Watch for loose clothing." See where I'm going with this? After about 20 minutes of our group taking turns to ride the wave, the aforementioned hot girl takes control and is doing her thing while the people look on. She was wearing a teeny tiny bikini and had all the young guys staring at her with the utmost focus. Next thing we know, she catches an edge, beefs it hard in the water, and both pieces of her swimsuit went shooting off the back end of the wave onto the deck behind it. She gets to the top, stands up, and is buck naked. It was like a teenage boy's dream come true. Story 5. I was visiting my boyfriend's house, and one of his roommates was this awesome chick who happened to be a lesbian. I pulled up and noticed her car was in the driveway, so I went upstairs to say hi, and the door was slightly popped open and the music was playing. I walked up and looked into the room and saw her getting railed by her girlfriend wearing a strap-on. I sort of hawked for a minute and then ran downstairs giggling as fast as I could. She still doesn't know. Story 6. My ex-sister-in-law had a smoking hot body. Blonde, blue eyes, nice breasts, and one of the best behinds I have ever seen. Seriously, it was like a shelf. Anyways, the first night I met her when she was dating my brother, we were at my brother's house in the kitchen drinking. We decided to go down to the basement, / his man cave, and continue the party. My sister-in-law went upstairs for the night to go to bed. About an hour later, I climbed the stairs back into the kitchen to get beers for myself, my brother, and our friends. From where I was in the kitchen, you could look up and see into his bedroom. The room was at the end of the hall in sort of loft-type setup. Anyways, I looked up in the room and saw her changing. At first, I really only saw her from the side, nothing from the waist down, but then she walked to the corner of the room and I saw that booty in its full glory. And it was amazing. When they divorced, a lot of people couldn't understand why my brother stuck with her for so long, even though she was such a floozy and seemingly crazy. But I knew why. Story 7. I used to work in a residence at my university as a resident assistant, and a couple times a month I would be on a call all night with my partner. One of our responsibilities during our rounds was to check all of the washrooms to make sure there was no damages, no mess, or no drunk or dead students. It was customary for us to knock a few times and announce ourselves before opening the doors because sometimes people are busy taking poops and the like. However, we are still human beings and get pretty lazy. I had developed a habit of just banging on the door yelling "RAS" and throwing the door open to have a quick peek before leaving. So this night I do my thing and my partner and I try to rush through as quick as we can. We get to one of the girl washrooms and I pretty much yell "RAS" and kick the door open. Bam! As the door swings open, there is a girl who had just taken a shower drying herself off. These doors were heavy and didn't close on their own, so as I land my perfectly aimed foot into the face of the wooden barrier, it swings open and slams into the wall and this girl nearly poops herself. She drops her towel and stands there for a good 5 seconds before going absolutely ape yelling on us. I apologize and close the door. I went by her room the next day to apologize again and she was actually pretty damn cool about it. She just shrugged it off and said, "Next time you want the goods, at least bring me dinner." Story 8. Oh my god, I have a great story. So my friend is at some random party with his girl, his cousin, and his cousin's setup. He ends up calling me and driving 45 minutes to my house just so they could have a place to get naughty. I thought we were going to hang out, but nope. In comes 4 drunks. The 2 girls are sloppy and falling all over each other. But eventually, each of the couples retreats to a room in my house to get naughty. My friend finishes first and comes back. We are now wondering what is taking Brian so long. Well, I can hear him in his room, in a Hispanic accent. "Siqui, baby, siqui. Come inside me, papi. Do your fingers, siqui." Siqui means to continue or proceed, but I guess in this context it just means come or whatever. I actually have a recording of this. Maybe you can convince me to post it. Anyways, Brian is pounding away in his drunkenness and actually pukes on the chick a little. He rushes to the bathroom and I guess the girl just cleans up. At this point I'm pissed off because we're supposed to hang out and they kind of just use me. Not to mention, I absolutely hate throw up. And he puked in my sister's room. I called my girlfriend because I was raging and I couldn't control myself. As I'm standing in the doorway to my room, talking on my phone, out walks Brian Slay, covering her naked body with a pillow from my sister's bed. My first reaction? "You are touching my sister's pillow? Put it back! You guys are absolutely gross." She immediately drops it without a second thought and exposes her amazing breasts and her shaved cat. The nicest curves you've ever seen on a girl, no taller than 5 feet 4 inches. This girl was tight and hot. What a lucky guy Brian is. Somehow my friend's girl comes downstairs and they begin toppling drunk all over each other again. Her tight little crotch is rubbing against my friend's girlfriend as she sits on top of her. Rosie manages to get from underneath her, tripping Brian's date. Her now barren body is bent over, exposing her sweet, sweet booty. With her face buried into the ground, I lock my eyes with her booty. Gosh, what an amazing view. Absolutely the best accidental nudity I have ever seen. To continue the story, Brian finishes in the bathroom and manages to push these girls' low standards to a whole new level. They enter back into my sister's room and begin to get naughty again. Puke breath and all. Damn, what an eventful night.